Thank you very much. This is a bit of a personal manifesto. I'm trained as an architect, and currently I'm the design director of a 20-plus size firm called Realm. We do landscapes. Personally, very interested in design, beauty, ecology, policy, anything that entails, the cross-disciplinary entities of architects, planning, etc. Okay. Caracas, Venezuela, this is the place where I'm from. A country with enormous natural resources, but also of great opposing forces and contradictions, such as the photo where you can see the tension between the informal and informal city. This notion of opposition not only manifested in my personal and professional experiences, but also in my academic training and thinking. You're going very fast. The first impactful experience when I left Venezuela 18 years ago was 3 days of torrential rain that wiped out the entire city, the city of Vargas. 10% of the population died. While studying in the East Coast, I witnessed the monstrosity of September 11 attack. And I began to fear the vulnerability and despair began to grow inside of me. 2 years later in New York City, I experienced the blackout. More than 50 million affected. And it possibly took 1 to 2 weeks to restore power and a peace of mind. Still, while living in New York, I experienced Superstorm Sandy that hit a bunch of countries and close to 24 states in the US. Aside from the death toll, just to give you a scale, 250,000 vehicles were destroyed only in New York City. Just 2 years after, I moved to California and I witnessed the voracity of the Thomas Fire, so intense that it generated its own weather, burned an area equal to the size of Hong Kong. Over the fire, after the fire has been controlled, a very intense rain event happened in the county of Montecito and Carpinteria, causing also substantial damage. The rain intensity was only seen every 200 years. Oh, this is automatically? Oh. My goodness. Okay. I need to catch up here. Well, just to try to bring some positive thinking about this. I mean, this is excerpts from the Post-Carbon Institute that, again, it begin to stress some of the elements that are under tremendous stress, anything from food, water, scarcity, and they provide, sort of a template. In a positive vibe or lens, we have institutions like the GSD, for example, where risk and resilience is a concentration of study for 1 year. Other institutions like UCLA and GSD are they're becoming fossil fuel free. Other initiatives on a wider scale, Rebuild by Design, Rising Currents, are giving hope. The Bay Area Challenge, again, 51 teams submitted proposals to really envision the new frontiers of coastline resiliency. And also in a bigger scale, we have entire countries or places like, not countries, but places like Copenhagen, New York, LA plan that are really striving for something much larger in intensity. We have other great examples. After the crash in 2008, Iceland, rewrote their constitution and overthrew their government after the crash. So there's hope. I always had I always put myself under this interdisciplinary thinking about ecology and thinking about design, using John and Nancy's thoughts. But this is as a compendium of all these experiences. This is gaining a momentum or something that more of a moral necessity for all of us to have a better and more profound stance about where we're going as a planet.